I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
So hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Jack Thompson. And for those who want to request pretty much any type of video, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It will be for, like I said, pretty much anything. Review, topic, re-review, reaction, randomness, whatever. And this is for a film called An American Carol, which is directed by David Zucker. This is the guy that gave us and helped make films like Airplane, The Naked Gun, Top Secret, films I deem comedy classics. But then the past few years, but this came out in 2008, at least the last film David Zucker worked on. And before this, he worked on Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4, and those were terrible. Just to be the only two good Scary Movie films are the first two, that the Wayans brothers did. They're not as bad as Scary Movie 5, but not many comedies are. I mean, Scary Movie 5 has a fucking orgy with a fucking pool cleaning equipment. Literally the equipment having an orgy by a fucking pool. And that's, Malcolm D. Lee, the director of Space Jam 2. Did Scary Movie 5. But Scary Movie 3 and 4 weren't that good, in my opinion, either. And so, I'd say that because this is a director that lost his way, and like I said, I think this is the last film he's done. No fucking wonder. This film came out, it did nothing. And really what this film is, I Hate Michael Moore, the movie. That's what it is. Because you have Kevin Farley, Chris Farley's brother, playing Michael Malone, in other words, Michael Moore, who makes documentaries and hates America. This is how they view it. He hates America, and he wants a campaign to end the 4th of July celebration. And like in American Carol, he's visited by three spirits. One is John F. Kennedy coming out of a TV. One is Patton, played by Kelsey Grammer. And one is Jon Voight as George Washington, who kind of makes the implication that Michael Moore is the cause of 9/11. And I'm not even a Michael Moore guy. Like, here's the thing with Michael Moore. I do find some of his movies interesting. But I view them as movies, not documentaries. And that's the thing with Michael Moore. I'm not going to give him an easy pass either. But I will say his films like Sicko and Roger Moore are more entertaining than this film, at the very least. But here's the thing with Michael Moore. He has his own agendas too. But at least some of his films bring up interesting ideas. But then you yourself should go and make your own quality time to research the topic. Again, I would not look at his, even though his films are classified as documentaries, I would say, like Sicko, when he went to Cuba and about the healthcare. Well, if you look a little bit more, from what I understand, in Cuba, there's healthcare, but then seems like it's more for the upper echelons, not just for regular Joe. But then let's not talk about that because that will screw up his own viewpoint. That's what I mean with Michael Moore. I would say if you view those films, view them more as entertainment than documentaries. But the thing is, they're labeled as documentaries. But I do think Michael Moore is a guy that there are some of his ideas I find interesting. There's even some of his ideas I agree with. I think Roger and Me is his best film. I sincerely enjoy Roger and Me. About the automobile industry, and it's been a while since I've seen it. Was it Detroit? I forget where it took place. It's been a while. But you did your Bowling for Columbine and all that other stuff. And like I said, if you're not a fan of Michael Moore, I'm not even a big Michael Moore guy. I can understand. But this isn't any better. I think this is worse because it's trying to be parody and comedy, but at the end of the day, it's not funny. I don't care if you're right wing, left wing, up wing, downwind, down on the farm, or down in the tunnel, or down in the basement, or down to Disneyland. I don't give a fuck. Right, left, red, blue, green, polka dot. If you're a comedy, be funny. And it just wasn't funny. I watch this, I'm going, okay, I did it, David Zucker. I did it, guys. You hate Michael Moore. This movie was more about hating Michael Moore than being a comedy. And that's my issue with it. Not because I gotta defend Michael Moore, but just, it wasn't funny. I did it. You hate Michael Moore. A lot of time it's slapping him, or he's fat. And oh my God, with the American Scrooge, the story of Scrooge, not Scrooge McDuck, but Scrooge, Three Spirits. He's going to love Christmas. The last story, of course, the last spirit, I should say, show his impending death. If you don't change, this is what's going to happen to you. In this case, I think it is like Detroit gets blown up and all they find is his hat and his fat ass. And you have doctors, including Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, parading around the hospital room with an ass left over with candles in it. That's the joke. Those are the jokes. And there's a lot of recognizable people in this film. Leslie Nielsen, sadly one of his last films because he passed away in 2010. And he worked with David Zucker before, so of course. Naked Gun, Scary Movie 3, others. He's there as a grandpa telling the kids the story, and then he appears one time as if he's going to try out for this Afghanistan movie, but then he realizes it's a documentary and he leaves. Leslie Nielsen is wasted. Robert Davi, he's one of the Afghanistan terrorists. Robert Davi from Predator 2, Maniac Cop 2, Maniac Cop 3, others. Kevin Sorbo from Hercules, he's here as a director who wins an award about... He had directed a film called McCarthyism, and that right there, I guess, sums up my thoughts on it. David Alan Grier plays a slave, as does Gary Coleman. Because Kelsey Grammer as Patton is showing him, well, if we don't fight wars, guess what? If we didn't fight the Civil War, there'd still be slavery. If we didn't fight in World War II, Hitler would get this and this one. And I'm like, I don't know Michael Moore. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I would think, it's not that he thinks no wars are good, but let's question why this war is being done, because there's good reasons and bad reasons. There's, yes, someone who's obviously evil like Hitler, understandable. And, same with, say, Osama bin Laden, yeah, evil. But also, let's not sugarcoat that there aren't any other actual secondary reasons that this stuff is being done as well. I love America. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say America is a 10 out of 10 perfect, having done nothing wrong ever in history. And that's kind of what this film is in the mindset of going, see, I don't want to be lectured either way. A lot of times, we're getting lectured over here, but this is being lectured from over here. I don't want to be lectured either way. Depending on which fucking side. And that's what it seemed like, more of a lecturing on the other side. And you have people like James Woods as Michael Malone, or Michael Moores, was an agent. And this running joke of, the guy going, well, I won an Oscar. Yeah, but for a documentary. Well, number one, Oscars ain't worth shit for the actual films either. Because there's a lot of Oscar winning movies that are bullshit as well. No Man Land was a boring piece of fucking shit. There's a lot of Best Picture winners that are shit. And there's a lot of good movies. And of course, that's subjective. So this is my subjective. Copland, Collateral, Heat, Michael Mann. They didn't get nominated for Best Picture. Heat, Collateral. Sorry, I like that more than $1 Million Baby or The Aviator or Vera Drake, whatever the fuck Vera Drake is. That got nominated for Best Picture, but not Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. So again, you say that for actual films as well. But they make this thing like, yeah, you won an Oscar, but it's just a documentary. As if documentaries are nothing. I mean, they don't go into the creative... Like, when they say that, I go, well, you could argue that your films aren't... They're not really documentaries, they're entertainment. You stretch the truth on stuff. Maybe there's some parody to the end of that. Maybe there's some satire to the end of that. But they just go, yeah, but you won an Oscar. Yeah, but it's for a documentary. And I'm like... That's what your Joker's going towards? And it's a running joke, so apparently they thought we were going to laugh every single point. Early on, there's a suicide bomber training video. I'm like, I saw that in the Onion movie. And you know what? That was a funnier movie. Steven Seagal's Cop Puncher, alone, as bottom of the barrel as that is, which usually I'm not for that, but that was still funnier than anything in this flick. Kevin Farley, he's definitely not his brother, Chris Farley. I guess he's trying to be Michael Moore. I don't know. And they really hone in he thought everyone loved his movies, but no one likes documentaries. And I'm like, what is this thing where, do you just hate documentaries in general? Shouldn't the satire be more, well, you say it's a documentary, but it's not really documentary. Like, that should be more of the satirical look, not just documentaries are just no good at all in general. That's what it seems like with this film. And so Michael Moore, I don't think the guy hates America. Again, I don't agree with all of his stuff. I think sometimes he can come off as an ass, like everybody, myself included. But, oh, he made a new film. It's called Die You American Pigs. I'm like, this is about as subtle as a jackhammer up your ass. I mean, that's why this just comes off as I hate Michael Moore the movie. And yeah, if you hate Michael Moore, maybe this would be your favorite film ever. To me, I'm indifferent on Michael Moore. That's really what it is. I'm indifferent. So when I just see someone going, I hate Michael Moore, and I hate Michael Moore for 80 fucking minutes, I go, I get it. This could have been a 15-minute Funny or Die sketch if that's the case. And maybe it'd be funny. Maybe. Yet appearances, like I said, James Woods is in one scene as Michael Malone's agent. Like I say, he's playing Michael Moore, but the name is Michael Malone. His agent. Waste of James Woods. But I guess a lot of these people came on because they hated Michael Moore. So hey, if this will be a slam against him, I'll do it. Bill fucking Riley is in this. I'm like, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Pot beat kettle. Bill O'Reilly is full of shit as well. And Fox News is full of shit as well. And I don't get much into politics because I don't like any of them. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like Donald Trump. I didn't like George W. I didn't like any of them. Thought they were all full of shit. I think a lot of politicians are full of shit. They say what you want to hear, and then do whatever the fuck they want behind the doors. Hell, The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy to me is one of the more truthful movies about politics. It is. You watch The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy, I'm like, yeah, I could buy that's how a lot of politics work behind the scenes. And it's a funny movie. So there you go. The Distinguished Gentleman is a better movie on the satirical nature of politics, which this is... If you don't deal with a movie dealing with politics, that film is a funnier film and it did better. This... Paris Hilton and Simon Retz, he was the guy who was the wannabe Eminem in Scary Movie 3. They're presenting an award, and they present it for, Kevin Sorbo, who plays his director. And again, it just... The running joke of, we hate Michael Moore, we hate Michael Moore. Even if you hate Michael Moore, I would think you get tired. Like, do you have any other jokes? Like the guy buys Girl Scout cookies. What's that badge for? Oh, this badge is because we're respectful to a fat, ignorant, traitorous sack of shit. And I'm like, okay, this is the only reason this film is made. We hate Michael Moore. I want to make a film for 80 minutes saying how much Michael Moore is a piece of shit. But you know what? It's not clever. It's not well written. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else being said. And... I get you, movie. So what? Kelsey Grammer is Patton. You're for these protests. What if they protested in the 40s? What if they protested in the Civil War? What if we didn't fight in those wars? Then slavery would be still around. And it's like, okay, I get that, but that doesn't mean every war is worth it. Some wars... Yes, they have to be done. I get that. But that doesn't mean every fucking war. Or that doesn't mean every war there's not some other games being fucking played. You're telling me that there's no other games being played? Yes, war is essential, Sally, a lot of the times. Despite how we want to hide in the sand and wish it wasn't the case. My point is, if Michael Moore is over here and Bill O'Reilly's over here, my thought process is, I'm not for either of you. It's something in the middle. You do a little bit dirty. You do a lot clean. And somewhere in the middle. Listen to John Spartan from Demolition Man. That's my fucking point. Listen to John Spartan Demolition Man. Because he seems like he knows more than what the fuck either of these parties are saying. And you see, I'm talking more about this because what was supposed to talk. Hey, the comedy is David Allen Greer from In Living Color. He's a slave, talking like a slave. And there's Gary Coleman. Oh my God, it's Gary Coleman. He's a slave too. Here's a fake Rosie O'Donnell talking about radical Christians. Which that could get maybe into some humor. The idea of like a radical Christian wanting to blow up something, but they got a Bible instead. Trying to go to the extreme to show how ridiculous the notion is. But my thought process going is like, well, there were those priests that diddled the boys. You do know that, right? That's kind of my rationale, is that everybody's fucked up, and every organization, every section, every portion, there are fucked up people doing shitty things. Every job you think of. I don't care if it's the post office. I don't care if it's a department store. I don't care if it's retail. I don't care if it's real estate. I don't care if it's doctors, lawyers, cops. I don't care if it's politicians. I don't care if it's people who babysit or people who watch your dog. There are some sections of them that are shitty. There are some sections of them that are good. There's some sections of them that are evil. And there's some sections that are not so evil. That's the statistics. That's how we are as a human race. You can't fight it. Sally, it's like, hey, we spend all this time fighting death when death is the one inevitable thing. Death and taxes. The two most inevitable things. There's always going to be taxes. There's always going to be death. But that's the one thing we're fighting. Is the one thing that is going to happen no matter what. So I just... If it was funny, if it was clever... The closest it came to cleverness is Patton, played by Kelsey Grammer, showing wannabe, Michael Moore, pretty much, Kevin Farley, this seminar about indoctrination and the teachers going to a song and dance routine. If you think the same we do, we'll give you an A, and we'll give you some extra credit if you're poor, black, or gay. That got a little bit of smirk out of me, the fact there was a song and dance, and they're actually seeing something that, by the tone, seems kind of catchy, and that, I'm like, that is a semblance of maybe some cleverness. But oh, here's Dennis Hopper in, like, the last film he did, as a judge at a courthouse, and the ACLU's there, and they're zombies, and they're shooting with shotguns, and, oh, but you're against gun control, and I'm like, again, like Bowling for Columbine, is there stuff bullshit in that? Yes, that's why I don't consider it a documentary. But there's also some interesting talking points. And at least it has that. Like the idea of I could buy a gun at Walmart. Yes, that is something that's a bit suspect. Because I remember when you could just buy a gun at Walmart. I was like, wow, I could just buy this. That is a bit strange. Now, am I against guns? Fuck no. Look at the movies I like. This is my fucking favorite film ever. There's something called guns in this. So I'm not against guns. Like guns. But do I think someone needs a fucking automatic pistol in their fucking home? No. I understand you want a gun to protect yourself. That's fine. That doesn't mean you need a sniper rifle and a bazooka. Which, by the way, some of those guns are illegal. And people get them anyway. So no matter what you try to change, guess what? Drugs are illegal. You do know that. And people still get drugs. So if you think, well, if we get rid of all the guns, people still don't find guns. There are illegal guns that people still find. So you know, like going off track, like the celebrities that did that whole thing. We need to stop guns, but you shoot guns in movies. Jennifer Garner, you shot guns in fucking The Kingdom and Peppermint. Jamie Foxx, you shot guns in fucking Collateral and Miami Vice in The Kingdom. Conan O'Brien, you shot guns on TV. And one of your segments where I forget where he was at. So it's like there's a bit more of a talking point to this story. And that's what I mean, is that it's not this or this. There's a huge thing in the middle that's complicated. You talk about, you converse, and you... But it's like, you gotta be here, we gotta be here. How about Bill O'Reilly, Michael Moore? How about you both get in there and you actually have a fucking conversation that lasts more than 5 minutes on some fucking news program? How about both of you do a documentary together? There you go. That would be maybe a documentary that would actually be a documentary. Bill O'Reilly, Michael Moore, you two hate each other. You do a documentary and have someone else who's in between. And maybe then you could create fucking something. There you go. But put in your different, yeah, there you go. I mean, whatever. Jon Voight, George Washington, and, oh, well, there's a bomb, and you're found dead, and these doctors are playing with your ass. That's all that's left, your hat and your ass. So, and obviously, either they slap him, or they talk about the fact he's fat. He's eating pizza. He has a big gulp. He's fat. You did it, Michael Moore's fat. Yeah, I did it! What else do you got, movie? It ends with a seminar. Someone's going to sing a country song. Michael Malone, Kevin Farley's character warns that there's a terrorist. These other two terrorists change of hearts. They stop Robert Davi. They disarm the bomb. And then the movie's over. And now people want to call Michael Moore. He wants to make a movie based on JFK. Just now pro-America. I'm like, well, he does care about America. He just has different thought process for possible debate. But again, there are times Michael Moore's full of shit too. But there's also times Bill O'Reilly's full of shit too. So I'm like, okay, kind of what you're saying about Michael Moore, you're kind of doing with the other flip side of it as well. So, kind of hypocritical. Yeah, he calls himself a documentary. They're not really documentary. But you're a comedy. You're not really comedy because you're not fucking funny. Right? You're attempting to be funny, but good luck to anyone finding 5 moments to laugh at in this. I see why it gets a 4.7 on IMDb. Plus, I mean, political comedies are not really the type of comedies I go... I go for comedies just to escape and laugh, not to be lectured about politics. Again, whatever fucking direction you're in. So, I mean, David Zucker is just far away from the Naked Gun, and... But, I mean, by this point, like I said, Steer Movie 3 and 4 sucked as well. So did this. So, with that said, we'll see you guys later. I just think it's a lame, unfunny comedy. Bye-bye. Fuck.